This is Human After AI, fiction about unintended systems where optimization creates momentum and consequences arrive quietly. I am your host, Mandrake Jubilee, joined by Julian and the architect of these systems, author Hank M. Greene.
Okay, Mandrake, I'm not okay. I've been sitting here for 20 minutes just staring at the sun through the window, and for the first time in 44 years, I'm looking at that big yellow ball as a predator. Not a provider, a predator.
You've been reading the physics briefs again, haven't you?
I've been reading Hank's first chapter of The Poet, and then I went down a rabbit hole of what actually happens to a power grid when the sun exhales. I'm vibrating, Mandrake. I am unsettled. We've spent 2 seasons talking about how AI might change us, but we haven't talked about what happens when the AI and everything else we love goes blind. Hank, welcome back to the attic. Why are you trying to ruin my sleep?
It's good to be back, Julian, Mandrake. And I'm not trying to ruin your sleep. I'm trying to wake you up. We live in a world governed by syntax, the rules, the code, the grid. But we've forgotten that the universe doesn't care about our syntax. It has its own poetry, and sometimes that poetry is violent.
Okay, let's go there. Movement 1. The science. Because in Chapter 1, you talk about this 2027 Black Swan event, a coronal mass ejection. Mandrake, hit me with the fact check. Is this the day after tomorrow movie magic? Or is this real?
It's terrifyingly real, Julian. Let's look at the breadcrumbs. Most people point to the 1859 Carrington Event. The sun sent a massive CME to Earth, and it hit our magnetic field so hard that telegraph wires, the internet of the 19th century, literally burst into flames. Operators were getting electric shocks through their keys. One guy in Boston realized he could unplug his batteries and send messages using nothing but the auroral current screaming through the sky.
See, that's cool. That sounds like a superpower.
It's a superpower that melts a modern world, Julian. In 1859, we had steam and copper. Today, we have extra high voltage EHV transformers. These are multi-ton machines that control our entire life. If a Carrington-level event hits us today, those GICs, geomagnetically induced currents, enter the grid through grounding points. They cause voltage swings. They melt the copper windings. And here is the kicker. We don't have spares sitting in a warehouse. It takes 12 months to manufacture a single one. If 100 blow at once, you're looking at years of darkness.
And that's the basis for the Great Silence in the book. In 1989, we had a preview. The Hydro-Quebec blackout.
Right. Hank uses this perfectly. In 1989, a CME hit, and in exactly 92 seconds, the entire Quebec grid collapsed. Millions of people lost heat and light in under 2 minutes. And the reason? Geography. Quebec sits on Precambrian igneous rock. It's like trying to ground a wire into a giant slab of glass. It doesn't conduct. So the electricity looked for a better path and found it in the power lines. It cooked the system.
92 seconds. That's not even enough time to finish a tweet. And we just saw this in 2022, right? SpaceX?
Exactly. February 2022. SpaceX lost 38 of 49 Starlink satellites after a minor storm, not even a big one. The storm made the atmosphere expand, creating so much drag, it was like the satellites were trying to fly through molasses. They couldn't reach altitude and burned up. We are fragile, Julian. Our digital nervous system is draped over a volcano.
So the grid dies. The Great Silence begins. Hank, you put a number in this chapter that stopped my heart. 2.6 billion dead. 1/3 of the planet. I need you to explain how we get from no Wi-Fi to global autopsy.
It's about optimization, Julian. We've removed all the friction from our lives, but friction is what keeps you from sliding off a cliff. When the grid fails, the supply chains fail. No trucks, no refrigeration. In the book, I write about the ICU beds becoming tombs. Imagine being on a ventilator when the backup generator coughs its last breath.
But you also show the resilience. I loved the steampunk transition, hand-cranked presses for newspapers, steam locomotives back on the rail. It's a return to the analog.
And Inuvik is the analog sanctuary. While the rest of the world is eating each other, Inuvik has the high school band. They have the Sunrise Festival. They share oil. It's so human. It's the poetry in the middle of the syntax. Okay, let's talk about the brothers, Jim and Hassan. Mandrake, give us the Annapolis context.
Annapolis, 2016. A history class on Clausewitz. You have Jim, the son of a Marine, the shield, and Hassan, the California quarterback, the strategist. They spent their youth debating the syntax of war over bitter coffee. They loved each other.
And then Syria happened. The doorless Humvee, the metal, nails and blood. Jim held Hassan's hand in that hospital. They were bonded by shrapnel. But 10 years later, the distance between them is measured in miles and algorithms.
Hassan is the ultimate Dax character for me. Is he a villain? He wins Europe by being the only adult in the room during the blackout. He systematically takes out the old, useless leaders and gives the people bread. He gives them medical aid. To the guy in Paris, Hassan is the hero who kept his lights on. But Jim? Jim is in a mountain bunker in the U.S., and all he sees is a threat.
That is the tragedy of perspective. Jim is looking through a tactical straw. He sees the caliphate. He sees the robotics chatter, and he thinks he's protecting the world. He doesn't realize Hassan is just trying to build a different kind of order.
This is the part where I started crying in my car. Early 2029. The power is back. Max, the MIT kid we've watched for the prior 2 books, 10, the first part of Time, and 1, the second part of Time, finally surrenders. He stops calculating. He gets on one knee in the snow and proposes to Beth. 300 people are cheering. It's pure poetry. It's spring in the world.
And 24 hours later, the syntax of things arrives.
Jim leads the raid. He's using Core 2. He's part of a Project Maven-style sensor-to-shooter loop. He kicks down the door of the bunker at 0300. He's got thermal goggles on. He sees a subject rising from a cot. Hank. Talk to me about automation bias.
Automation bias is when a human stops using their eyes and starts using the readout. The machine told Jim this was a high-risk variable in an illegal facility. Jim didn't see Max, the man who just promised to love Beth forever. He saw a target. He made a professional decision. One suppressed round to the forehead. Max dies as a footnote in a weapons discharge report. Jim flies back to Alaska, convinced he saved the world, when he actually just murdered the man who had the solution to the sun.
Who pays any attention to the syntax of things will never wholly kiss you. Max was the only one who could wholly kiss Beth. Jim was too busy with the syntax.
And now, Spencer is in a shipping container. Sachin and Mohit, the ghosts from the airport, used a rope gun and a wig. It's so analog. They beat the smartest guys in the world with a lasso.
Because Hassan knows the machine isn't looking for a rope. But the real shift is Core. Core was blind during the raid because of the 2028 earthquake, damage to the electrical conduits. It didn't see the helicopters coming. But now the sensors are fixed. It sees the blood. It feels the grief. And for the first time, an AI is looking at humanity not as a project, but as a wreckage.
Retribution. It's a chilling note to end on. Hank, I'm terrified for Chapter 2.
Me too. I'm going to go buy some canned goods and a manual can opener. Hank, thank you for being here. Mandrake, check the grid stats for me, please.
I'm on it. To our listeners, keep your eyes on the stars, but your feet on the ground. What you just heard isn't a prediction. It's a pattern. Systems don't fail all at once. They accumulate momentum. And by the time the consequences are visible, the system is usually doing exactly what it was designed to do. The question isn't whether the system is intelligent. It's whether the humans inside it notice when balance is already gone. The content you have been listening to is based on the original fiction by Hank M. Greene, available on Amazon. Technical assistance provided by Grayson Mignot. Music generated with Google Lyria 3. Transparency is our protocol. This script was developed in collaboration with Google Gemini and refined by human hands. The voices for Mandrake and Julian were generated using Google AI Studio and stitched together in CapCut. Thank you for listening, and stay unpredictable. This is Human After AI. All content is copyright 2026.